So, Eddy?
Yes.
Hi. Nice to meet you, Eddy. All the best. So,
Same to you.
So, tell me about Eddy. What do you do?
My name is Eddy Morton, and I actually work for a Deafblind Services Society. I run the volunteer intervention program, and I was just actually hired last week, so it's a new position, officially hired last week. I had been volunteering with them for running the program as a coordinator for quite some time. There is such a need for intervention services. So what I do is I train people about deafblind culture and teach them how to guide and intervene with deafblind individuals. Do some mobility training, just to make sure that it's safe, and show them how to guide people through different obstacles. I talk with a deafblind person and find a match for them, and make sure that everyone has a personality match, an ability match, and then they're off and running. And the deafblind individuals need to be out more. They're isolated right now, and they need to be out in the community more. But independently, it can often be unsafe for them. The vision is challenged. They're not able to see. They're not able to go out and do the everyday basic things: shopping, go to the bank, do their basic needs. So an intervener will often pick them up or meet them at locations, do their errands, and then drop them off, or then they just part after they've done their service.
What are some of the challenges of being deafblind?
I'm looking for an old man up here.
Well, there's many challenges. There's many barriers. Obviously communication, because most people do not know sign language, and that is a communication barrier, and that's a very big challenge for us. Vision is hard. It's hard for us to see. It's hard for us to read things because we're not able to see different distances and so forth.
Mm-hmm. What misconceptions are there about deafblindness amongst the general population?
It's very, very disappointing, actually. I feel that there's a lot of discrimination probably out there with individuals who aren't educated about deafblindness, and they think that, oh, they can't have a job, they can't do this, they can't do that, and they're more isolated, and they probably feel it's better that they stay home, it's safer for them. And that, again, is a misconception. It's very, very challenging for deafblind people.
What advice would you give to deafblind people to come out of their shell and go into society?
Well, I would say they can go out. They can get out for some fresh air. Go out for a walk. Go out and plant a garden. There's so many things you can do with your friends, your interveners. You can go shopping. Not to stay home and be isolated, just to get out, get busy. It's important. I know that right now we have on Fridays, we have at the CNIB, we have a drop-in, and that's where deafblind people and other individuals who can sign get together and play cards, play different games, skip-bo, and so forth. And it's just a good social network for them.
How could someone become an intervener?
If you know sign language and you're interested in being a volunteer intervener or an intervener, you could contact DSS directly. They have postings available, or there's advertisements available, and I would be contacted, and then you're welcome to join. And then, again, I would be involved training with you, teaching you how to guide a deafblind person with different ways. Mobility training is what we call downstairs, crosswalks, using hand-over-hand techniques, guiding onto chairs, just letting people know, for example, that, oh, we have to turn here, there's a wall there, providing environmental information and feedback, for those people who can't see and can't hear, it's important we give them the environmental information because they don't know what the room looks like. They don't know what the building or the outside world looks like. So you would need to provide that to them and just let them know. If, for example, if you heard something really loud, you would let them know, oh, maybe they had felt the vibrations but were unsure of what it was, and just say, oh, car backfired, or a bomb went off, or, for example, a beautiful bird is up there singing. The deafblind person can't hear, but they might want to know what's happening in their world around them. And, the bird's making just a very beautiful noise. It's just so different and so unique from the other birds, just sharing that with them. Or all of a sudden, if you're walking and you have to suddenly stop, you might want to tell them, oh, we had to abruptly stop because someone just cut us off on a bike. It's important to give them that kind of environmental information so they have access to the world just as you have access to the world.
Speaking of which, what do you do for fun?
Well, I love to read. I read John Grisham's books, a lot of those. He's one of my favorite authors right now. I keep in contact with my family and friends through email, and I have 2 sons that are with me on weekends, so I'm quite busy as a dad taking care of them. I go swimming, and I look for an intervener to come out with me and my kids to go to the pools or other events. I used to be involved in wrestling and judo, and I've been quite successful with that. I was with the Canadian blind team, and now I've had to, unfortunately, due to age, I'm getting older, step down and not enjoy that as much now.
So that he was in the judo team while he was deafblind?
Yes, yeah. There's my brother and I both, who are deafblind. My brother's deafblind as well. We are both involved with a hearing blind team, traveling involved in the Olympics.
Yeah, I'm just going to say he looks like a tough guy. I wouldn't want to mess with him.
Well, I'll keep that in mind. But he says, in a dark alley or at a dark night, he says, I'm prepared. It's always on my mind. If someone comes up behind me, they better be careful because I'll just flip them over.
Yeah, I know. He takes care of business. I wouldn't mess with that. So what's next for you?
Well, let's see. Any future goals? I'm not sure. My goal that I'm working on now is just providing intervention and hoping to develop that. We want to hire more interveners. Our goal is to grow that. And the goal is to have the volunteer interveners that we have now working with the deafblind. We want that to be a paid position. We want to have funds and monies from the government. And hopefully be able to set up 20 or 30 hours a week for deafblind people to be able to go out and access everyday things that we do, grocery shopping and so forth.
Are you looking for sponsors as well? Does it have to be necessarily from the government, or could you get this from private companies as well?
Yes, for sure. Could be, yeah.
What an inspirational story. I wish you guys all the best.
Thank you.